Well, George, always good to catch up. We should have the delights of Gaunton Road in the background, but air traffic France has caused us a few problems. Thank you for joining on a Zoom call to catch up with us. The latest signing announcement at Bedford Blues for the 2025-26 Champ Rugby campaign. First of all, your thoughts coming back to England must have been a choice that you had to make, but one probably not taken lightly, and Bedford is the place that you've chosen. Can you just talk us through your reasons why to start with?
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. Obviously, moving back from France to England is a different scene, but one that I'm extremely looking forward to. I was keeping an eye on Bedford's performance from when I was in touch with Mike, and the boys were just winning every week. So it's an environment that I'm really keen to get involved with, and hopefully add something if I'm able to.
Yeah, we'll talk about different stages of your career as we go through this, but just looking at the here and now, you talk about um, keeping in touch with Mike and the positive results you were seeing. Um, why the reasons to join Bedford specifically? Is it style of play? Is it the fact that we're playing well? Is it a mixture of all of it?
Yeah, a mixture of all of it. I've always known the Bedford Hill, pretty famous field. I've always known the connection with Northampton Saints. Obviously, not being too far from Bedford as my home as well. So, that as well as the style of play and the competitive nature of the squad, and how successful they were. Well, last year specifically, but for forever, always, up there or thereabouts. So, um, in terms of championship clubs, it's an absolutely famous championship club. So, like I said, to hopefully add a bit to that is something that I'm really keen to do.
It'd be fair to say that one thing that will help you next season is your versatility in the back line. For supporters who perhaps don't know who you are coming into us, I don't think there'll be too many. Your time at Leicester goes before you, but a, a plethora of different options that you can play. Where do you see yourself best? Where do you think you can perform? I guess you'll wear any jersey that Mike gives you, but yeah, maybe for fans who don't know who you are, how would you describe yourself on the rugby field?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing all my schoolboy stuff was sort of fly half. And then most of my competitive rugby has been, or senior professional rugby has been at fullback and centre. So they're probably my best positions, but I've played a bit on the wing, not very well, but I can give it a go. I'll kick a ch I'll chase a kick for you. But yeah, probably fullback and centre are my best positions now. But like you said, if Mike wants me in the 23, I'm super keen to give whatever my best shot.
Players always talk about competition is a good thing. The positions that you've named are um, particularly hard to get in the sense of Louis James had a great season at fullback. Obviously, we've got player coach Michael LeBourgeois in the centres and things like that. For you at this stage of your career, is it a case of trying to play every minute, try and help some of the younger guys, learn from the experienced guys? You kind of find yourself probably in the middle age category, um, or
Yeah, I
again,
mean,
is it a mixture of all of it again?
I feel like I've got a lot of rugby left in me still. I'm 28, which I don't know if it's old or if it's not, but yeah, I feel like I've got loads of rugby left in me. So it's definitely not a case of on the wind down. I'm I'm keen to play as many minutes as possible, but like you said, it's a extremely competitive squad, and those boys that you've mentioned are top quality players and were awesome last year. So it's absolutely on me to train as well as I can and you know compete with those guys for positions, but also learn off them and see if I can improve my game as much as possible. Because, like you said, they performed so well last year, so it's up to me to try and find a way into the team somehow.
The backs division is seeing more continuity in terms of last season going into next season than the forwards pack. There's a lot of changes in the forwards pack. Is that more beneficial for you that there's been players that are around a long time and there's not so many new faces in the back division, you can kind of make that your own, or is it tougher because it's harder to break in?
Probably, yeah, probably tougher because it's hard to break in. Those boys are pretty settled and were extremely successful last season. So it's like we touched on a minute ago. It's going to be really tough to break into the squad and break into the match day team. So it's absolutely on me to put my best foot forward when we meet on Monday and well Saturday and Monday. And I'm going to fly into it and see where it leaves me.
It'd be fair to say, looking at your career statistics, you've played against Bedford a limited amount of times. However, one of them, a sellout Boxing Day fixture. We won't mention the team you were playing for, perhaps. But that experience of playing at Goldenton Road in front of 5,000 people, we can't talk about the fixtures too much, but we can say without saying there might be something like that again. Um, Good experiences and something, I guess, minimum 3,000 every game, and those high points are going to be fantastic. That's something you must be relishing, looking forward to next season.
Absolutely. I mean, um, probably one of the best things about playing in France was that there were small crowds right on top of the pitch. So I know Goldington Road's exactly like that. The fans get in the stand, they get on the side of the field, and they're extremely loud. So that's why you play rugby to play in front of good crowds, to play in teams that are moving the ball around. And I've only heard good things from people who have played a lot, and even boys who haven't been, so successful with minutes on the field. Everyone says how good of an environment it is to be in. So I'm so keen to get involved.
Played in England, played in France, as you've said, some stints in Australia as well. Actually, a lot of players at the moment are playing in Australia. It feels like I'm trying to arrange calls with 6 or 7 players that are out in Australia at the moment. It's a path well trodden. Do you think, or are you agreeing with some of the boys that have been speaking in the last few weeks, that playing in a multiple of countries has helped you learn different styles that you can bring to Bedford? But ultimately, England is where you're coming back to next season. But different game styles are going to, I guess, improve, and you can bring that to the team. Their experiences that certainly a lot of our boys won't have gone through.
Yeah, definitely. I think ultimately growing up and learning all my rugby in England is I'm probably best suited to the English rugby. So that's why it's great to be back. But yeah, training and playing in different countries and different environments on different pitches is with different game plans, having to adapt and try and execute different ways of playing has been challenging, but I'm really keen to be back playing in England.
You're going to be the penultimate signing before our season ticket deadline ends on Monday. We're going to announce you, obviously, now as fans listen to it, and another player tomorrow. If you had a special message for our supporters, talking from a player's perspective about how exciting the championship, or Champ Rugby, as it's going to be called next season, is, your excitement about coming to Bedford and playing in front of great crowds, what would your special message to our Blues supporters be going into next season, just to finish?
Oh, it'd have to be come get involved. As far as I'm aware, there's big crowds every week, so we're going to be working hard for the next however long until the start of the season, to put out performances that we can make the fans proud of. So yeah, get stuck in, come out and have a beer and watch us play. And we look forward to meeting all of you after the games.